Alright, hello everyone. Hello, and welcome to today's stream. DSP here. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you're doing well. Hold on a second while I actually check the speed of my air conditioner here. Hello and welcome. Yes, you've come to the right place if you are looking for about 2.5 to 3 hours of Metal Gear Solid 5 live here on the stream today. And I want to thank everyone not only for being live here, but also for following along this playthrough, which has been going on for over a week now, and pretty much is going to be going on for the rest of the month from what I'm to understand. If you've been following along the playthrough, you know that I'm around mission, I think it's around mission 16 or so. Don't quote me on that, because I'm not 100% sure exactly which mission it is that I am on yet. But yes, I am progressing nicely now. If you've watched the past few sessions or caught up with the videos on YouTube, you'll see that I'm doing things a little better. I think I'm kind of getting into the swing of the game. I'm starting to utilize buddies a hell of a lot more than I was earlier on in the game. And I think I'm doing a lot better, at least in that regard. I'm also failing a lot less, even though there are still fails. I am doing a little bit better with the sneaking, especially now that I've been able to upgrade both my mother base and a lot of new research and development items, new guns and stuff. I seem to be doing a lot better. New sneaking suit, so people don't really hear me as much as they used to. And it's turning out well. We ended yesterday's stream of Metal Gear Solid 5 with me rescuing the 3 legendary gunsmiths. So now I can actually fully customize weapons, which is cool because I am going to try to be making silenced versions of basically all the guns that I would like to use. In particular, I'm trying to make a silenced sniper rifle, and it didn't necessarily work. Because I think the sniper rifles that I have right now can't load, like, tranquilizer rounds, which is what I want. I want to, not kill everyone, but be tranking everyone, putting them to sleep. And I don't have that yet. What I'm going to look for is a sniper rifle that eventually can do that. And, in fact, I may even look to unlock more sniper rifles. And make that, because I had that in, I think it was Metal Gear Solid 4, and it was incredibly overpowered. It just makes you be able to be like a silent assassin. You're outside of a camp, start sniping and putting everyone to sleep before you even enter the camp, which is pretty wild. And of course now I'm using Quiet as my buddy, and because of that she's spotting a lot of the people who are inside of these areas that I'm raiding before I even move in, which obviously is a huge asset. And I'm doing pretty good. I'm enjoying the game, and I'm enjoying the playthrough. And I want to say thank you to those of you who have stuck in, because let's face it, early on in the game, I was pretty bad, right? And I think earlier on in the game, the missions, quite honestly, are a little disappointing. I think they're a little slow-paced. The side ops early on are pretty bad. They're boring and repetitive, and you don't really see results. That's the thing. It would be one thing, okay, I'm going to do some boring and repetitive stuff, but let me see results. And in the early game, the first 15 hours when you're doing these side ops, you really don't see any definitive, concrete, positive results to your side content grinding. And then all of a sudden, as soon as we hit Africa, and I started doing the side missions in Africa, oh, R&D unlocked, oh, this unlocked, that unlocked, weapon customization unlocked, and you're going ding, 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 as everything's unlocking, it's like, okay, now this feels a lot better. It feels like, my time and effort that I put into doing all this side content was worth the effort versus how it was earlier in the game. So if anything, I think that Metal Gear Solid 5 suffers from a very slow beginning, but it picks up, at least where I am in the game right now. I'm definitely, liking it, and I cannot wait to get into more today. And as you know, if you've checked out my new schedule, which I put out last night, Metal Gear Solid 5 is going to be my primary focus. At this point, excuse me. At this point, excuse me, seeing where the viewership is going, seeing, who's watching what, and also the fact that Metal Gear Solid 5 is such a long game, according to all reports, I got to put more time and effort into it than other stuff. You know, I am currently playing Mad Max, and I'm also currently playing Fallout New Vegas, which, by the way, Fallout New Vegas will be tonight's second stream, if you're interested. Another 2 hours or so of advancement in that game, and it looks like tonight we're going to be finally checking out Caesar's Legion. So for those of you who've been waiting for that, it's finally coming up tonight. But, that being said, you know, it looks like Metal Gear Solid 5 is going to be the longest game that I'm going to be playing this month. And because of that, I think what I really need to do is focus on Metal Gear Solid 5 way more than the other games that I've been playing. And I need to basically try to play it as much as I can, which means today it's going to be a 3-hour stream. Tomorrow it's going to be a 3-hour stream. On Friday we're going to take a break from it because I'm going to be trying out Mario Maker for the Wii U. But then it's going to return on Saturday and probably, quite honestly, on Sunday too, as the main streams. So I hope that that you appreciate that's what you're looking for. You know, obviously if you're here on stream right now watching Metal Gear Solid 5, it probably means you're a fan of Metal Gear Solid 5, or at least my playthrough of it, and you're anticipating more and you're looking forward to it. So that's good news for you. Now, if you're a fan of the other games that I'm playing right now, okay, don't worry, I'm not quitting them. I'm certainly not dropping them. It's just that they're going to be taking a back seat for a little while I focus more on Metal Gear Solid 5. I think it makes more sense for me to play those games as, say, second streams. You know, my shorter 2-hour streams that I do nightly. Those should be the focus for that. Now, there'll be maybe a couple exceptions here or there. I just want to make that abundantly clear that Metal Gear Solid won't definitely be the focus every single day. Like I said, just this Friday in particular, we're doing Mario Maker. Okay? But that being said, you know, I really do. I had to make kind of an executive decision on deciding what I was going to focus my time on, and I decided it has to be Metal Gear at this point, especially if I'm looking to end the playthrough or beat the game by the end of the month. I have to. So, apologies to those of you who maybe wanted to see me play way more of the other games, but don't worry, what I'm hoping is that if I stay on this track, that by the end of the game, I should be able to beat it, you know, by the end of this month. And that's the goal, beating Metal Gear Solid 5 by the end of the month. So I really don't have too much else to say. FYI, I guess apparently there was an update on Patreon, and I guess a few people who had their pledges declined did update their info, and a few more pledges went through for the month of August. I know here we are over a week into the month of September, and we're still talking about the month of August. That's because that's how slow Patreon is. It's still not completed, you know, trying to charge people for August. But because people are still being charged, this Friday night I'm going to message everyone. So if you pledged to pay my Patreon in the month of August, check your inboxes. This coming Friday night, I will be sending you a message requesting the info that I need to get you your perks for the month of August. So please do that, okay? In regards to the next month, the month of September, okay, there will be an update in regards to that also within the next week. In the next week, I will update all of the goals and everything for the month of September so that people can begin to pledge for the month of September if they would like. Keep in mind you get cool perks, as well as, you know, going towards really good goals. And for this month in particular, excuse me, there's going to be a really good goal that I think people are going to enjoy, and that $5 patrons will be able to participate in. But I'll talk more about that as I get it set up, rather than spoil. Just to let you know, though, there is something good coming, okay? Alright, so that's really it for gratuitous plugs and stuff. The only other thing really going on today is a little bit of news coming out of Apple's camp. Apple did their big press event today, where they decided to, you know, announce their new product lines. They do this every year. They do a big press event around September-ish, where they announce all their new products for the year. And they announced a few new things. First of all, the new iPhones. Yes, there's going to be a new iPhone. Woohoo. It's basically the iPhone 6, you know, Plus, which really is not that big of a deal. I guess it has a 4K camera. Because, you know, when you're taking really shitty pictures with your tiny lens on your iPhone, You need to be taking them in 4K quality so that all those 4,000 pixels are all blurry. Because people don't seem to understand, it doesn't matter how many pixels are in a picture, if you're taking it with a tiny lens that barely takes in light, the picture's going to look like shit. I just don't understand. People have, like, no knowledge of photography at all, seriously. And, oh, 4K camera in my phone! And then they take a picture like, why does it look like pixely blurry shit? Because it's a fucking tiny camera, you idiot. But that's not even the big news. The big news from Apple this morning, ladies and gentlemen, the new iPad. Yes, it's the new iPad is going to be a huge one. I believe they're going to call it the iPad Plus. All right, it's going to be more than a foot large. It's a giant screen. Okay, it's huge, and they actually showed the current larger iPad sitting next to this thing, and this thing's like almost twice as big as the normal current iPad. It's insanely large. And, you know, people are like, well, what do we need an iPad that big for? I thought the whole point of the iPad was to have a portable mobile device where we can view the internet and we can do social media. Why do we want this giant, heavier iPad? And I guess they're catering this iPad towards more like graphic designers, engineers, architects, people who need to use, say, a stylus to draw or do blueprints and stuff. And it was funny because they actually announced, ladies and gentlemen, the Apple iPencil. The Apple Pencil or iPencil. And everyone's like, wow, Apple invented the pencil. No. No, it's just a stylus. You know, stylus has been around for how long? Forever. Now, because it's Apple, I'm sure it'll have some kind of weird twist to it that'll make it unique. That it won't just be a normal stylus. We're in Apple. We can't just have a normal stylus. This is the super duper stylus. It probably fucking also has like a mixer on the end. You could blend a fucking morning smoothie or something. You know, something silly that most people probably won't care about. But that's Apple for you, right? So, yeah. So it's a giant iPad. And the thing that everyone kind of gasped at. What's the price of this new iPad? We'll take a look at the cost of iPad right now. You can get one for, I believe there's one that's like a $400 price point. The larger one is around a $500 price point, and then depending on what you want inside of it, it's more expensive. Like you can get a $600 version that has like way more storage and you know, more, the cellular internet as well as just the Wi-Fi internet, yada yada yada. So, what is the entering price point for the iPad Plus, the 12-inch large iPad? $800. There'll be two versions of the iPad Plus. One that's $800. That's the low-end version. If you want the one that has the high-end hard drive, the high-end stuff, that's $1,100. Yes. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we all know that in today's economy, that everyone has so much disposable income to give to Apple that we should just keep raising the prices of everything. It makes perfect sense. You know what I mean? But here's the funny thing. I say that and I joke. But the funny thing is that a couple years ago, if you remember, Apple really tried to cater to a market that they don't usually appeal to. Those people who don't have a lot of money. And if you remember, I think it was around 2 years ago, they launched a new product line of iPhones that were very cheap. They were made of cheaper material. They actually showed that if you sit on them, you'll bend the phone. They were colored fancy. You know, they're supposed to be for like kids or teens. And they were a much cheaper phone. They were retailing for around, I think, $300 to start. Well, guess what? That phone failed miserably, and if they actually checked in, you know, their sales numbers, it's one of the most unsuccessful Apple products ever. Apparently, what Apple has found through their research is that the people out there who buy Apple products are basically rich, or at least love to blow what excess money they have on these products. And so for them to cater to a lower-end product line is not going to be in their best interest. They have a lock on this hipster, techie, you know, have a lot of money, well-off crowd of people. These are the people who run out every year and buy the new iPhone, even though it really doesn't have many new features. These are the people who run out every year and buy the new iPad. And that's who their primary market is. That's who they're successful with. So, you know, they tried to appeal to a new market. Didn't work. And so now I think that's what they're going for. Although, again, I think a lot of people are making the point, who needs a 12-plus inch iPad with a stylus, which is kind of the point, is that the iPad is a touchscreen. Why do you need a stylus? Like, everyone likes to use their fingers, to use their their tablets right now, right? That's kind of what Apple was pushing. And in fact, there's actually a big interview with Steve Jobs, you know, before he passed away many years ago, when the iPad was launching. One of the questions that was posed to Steve Jobs, they said, Steve, you're pushing this new iPad product. You know, this was before it was a success, and everyone was questioning whether it would be a success. And they said, why doesn't it have a stylus? You know, all other tablets usually are coming with a stylus, and the iPad doesn't come with a stylus. And Steve Jobs responded and said, no one wants a stylus. No one wants to have this extra item that you have to carry around with you and use to point and do stuff on a tablet. They just want to use their finger. That's natural. You feel like you want to point, you want to draw, you want to, you know, it's natural to use your fingertip. And that's why we're not, you know, selling a stylus with the iPad. You can get one separately if you absolutely need one or want one, but that's not what we're going to push. So now fast forward to 2015, Steve Jobs is long gone. Oh, the new iPad, and now you need a stylus with it. So, you know, it's like I said, Apple will do whatever they can to sell the new product, whether it's something that you need or not, whether it's something that has some kind of a good improvement or not. Apple is going to sell it. So I digress. Obviously, I'm going on here about Apple. I'm not necessarily trying to be super negative. I just think that a lot of the stuff they do are silly. And the fact that people year in, year out run out and buy anything Apple, regardless of the fact where, you know, there will be people who will line up for the iPad Plus. They'll have no practical use for it. They don't need a bigger iPad. You know, they're not all going to be graphic designers and architects who need this, but they'll all line up for it and they'll buy the shit out of it regardless, because like I said, this is the techie hipster crowd. They have this insane amount of disposable income for whatever reason, and they need to give it to Apple. So there you have it. Alright, so anyway, everybody, I digress. That's about it for the pre-stream. I was letting the pre-stream build up a little bit. As you can hear, yes, I still have nasty cold symptoms, and I apologize for it. Yes, you're still going to hear me snorting. You're still going to hear me clearing my throat. There's not much I can do about it, you know. It is what it is. It's reality, is that I've still got these cold symptoms. I still haven't gotten rid of them. I wish I could. Not yet. I'm working on it, you know. It should probably take, you know, by the end of the week, hopefully, it'll be gone. I can tell you this, every day I am feeling a little bit better. Like, I woke up today, and I was like, oh, I don't feel too congested. My head, in fact, doesn't really feel that congested at all. It seems like it's all in my throat now. So it's, you know, the different levels of progression of a cold. Where I'm getting, you know, now tickled in my throat on a constant basis, which is why I have to keep clearing it so that I don't choke during gameplay. And I apologize for it. Hopefully, soon enough, I'll be better. And I guess we'll see, right? Alright, everyone, so that is it. Let us end the pre-stream, and let us get started with around 2.5 to 3 hours of Metal Gear Solid 5 here on the stream. FYI, just so you guys know, I do have my air conditioner on. I need it today. Today it's over 80 degrees outside here in Washington, which is kind of very hot compared to how it's been. And that means my office is about 95 degrees, so I have to have the air conditioner on today. Sorry if you can hear it. Not much I can do about that. In addition to that, excuse me. In addition to that, tonight I'll be playing Fallout New Vegas. For those who want to see the continuation of Fallout New Vegas, that will be my second stream tonight, starting around 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, if you have been using the new YouTube Gaming app and or YouTube Gaming website, yes, I am live streaming on there. Yes, you can find my channel on there. And if you do find DSPGaming on there, and you follow me on there, meaning I think it's like, I don't know if it's called subscribe or whatever it's called on there. Apparently while you're doing so, there's like a drop-down checkbox, and there's the option that you will be sent a notification whenever I go live. And if you check that off, you will get either email, text, whatever you have set up with your preferences on YouTube, you'll get a notification whenever I start live streaming. So I'm going to start pushing this, because this is what people used to use to know that I was live streaming when I live streamed on Twitch, and that went away when I started live streaming on YouTube back in November of last year, because YouTube didn't have anything like that. Now they do. As of for the past, you know, week and a half, 2 weeks that YouTube Gaming's been in effect, you could get notified. But I certainly don't think that many people know that. So, check it out. It has to be on the YouTube Gaming website for that to go into effect. And that way you'll know whenever I am going live. Especially if you can't follow along on Twitter to check out my schedule every day. That'll be an important way to do it, okay? Alright, everyone. That's it. Let's end the pre-stream. Let's get started with more Metal Gear Solid 5.